In this video, we will explore the assembly mode workflow in Fusion's new intent-driven design. The assembly design mode is where you insert parts and other assemblies as external components, then define relationships between them to create a structured assembly. In the previous video, we created a singular part and saved it into our project. In this video, we will create an assembly, bring in that part, along with other parts and other assemblies, and assemble them together with joints and constraints. We'll start by creating a new design, and in the dialog that appears, selecting Assembly Design. We'll select millimeter for the unit system and press Create New. Notice how the user interface has changed to show mostly assembly commands such as Insert, Relationships, Motion, and Contact Sets. In the browser, under Document Settings, it shows that we are in an assembly design. It is also a good idea to go ahead and save our assembly at this time for multiple reasons. First, it enables the autosave to start saving automatically. Secondly, if you end up creating a new part design, you can then add it to an existing assembly and pick this saved assembly. We'll save this assembly as Fishing Reel Assembly. In the Insert menu, we'll select Insert Component. A dialog will appear allowing you to select what you want to insert into the assembly. In this case, we want to insert the reel body to start with. It comes in at 000, but you can change the initial position of the assembly if necessary. We'll leave it where it is and press OK. If we drag the components around, notice there currently are no assembly relationships with this assembly, as the reel body was imported as an IGES file originally. However, we can quickly add in these assembly relationships. I'll expand open the reel body assembly, then the main body subassembly, and select the left body, right body, and the bearing, then right-click and select Rigid Group. This will group these parts so they move together as one. Then, we'll right-click on right body and select Pin. This command will pin the body in place so it cannot move, basically saying that this part is the stationary part and all other parts will move in relation to it. Now, we can select As-Built Joint from the Relationships menu and click on the shaft and the bearing. We'll pick the Revolute motion type and select a circular edge of the bearing or the shaft to define the rotational axis. Just like that, we've added all of the necessary assembly relationships to this imported assembly. If we expand open the data panel, we can see a list of all of the parts and assemblies in our project. Notice that the bail and the spool have a gray cube icon below them, signifying they were created as a part design, and the handle assembly and the fishing reel assembly have stacked cube icons, signifying they are assembly designs. The other parts and assemblies do not have these icons as they were created before the intent-driven design workflow was introduced. While we have the data panel open, I'll right-click on Bail and choose Insert into Current Design. This is the same process as selecting Insert Component from the Insert menu. The Constrain Component command works great to quickly position and build assembly relationships. We'll start by selecting the bottom circular edge of the bail and the bottom circular edge of the top portion of the main body. This will build a revolute relationship. Next, we want to line up the flat portion of the slot in the bail with the flat threaded portion of the shaft by adding another constraint and selecting the two planar faces. Now, when we rotate the bail, the shaft also rotates on its revolute joint. It's extremely powerful that you can use both joints and constrained components together in the same assembly. We can also insert components from McMaster Carr into the assembly. In this example, I'll search for a 918-62A311 which is a 1/4 32 panel nut, and insert it into the assembly. We'll use constrained components to constrain the nut with the recess in the bail. By adding in these constraints, it builds in the relationships between the two components. Now, when we rotate the bail, the shaft and the nut rotate with it. We can also use Insert Fastener to add some machine screws into the assembly. I'll click on Insert Fastener, then on Bolts and Screws, and then Round Head. In the search window, we can search for Cross Pan Head, and we'll set the units to ASME. Now we can click on the cross-recessed pan head machine screw from the results. If I hover over one of the screw holes on the body, a graphical representation of the correct size screw will appear. Clicking on the edge of the hole will place the machine screw. It will also place a second one automatically due to the Select Similar option being checked. I'll change the nominal length to 1/2 inch. The fasteners are placed and the rigid joints are automatically created to keep the screws in place. We'll insert in the spool next and drag it above the shaft. Again, we'll use constrained components to constrain the spool with the shaft. We will continue building our assembly by inserting in the bail arms and the handle assembly from the data panel. Note that when we insert in the bail arms assembly, there are no assembly relationships currently, as this is an IGES file. We can group them together by right-clicking and selecting Rigid Group. Now they behave as a group instead of individual components. Because they came into the design in the correct location, we'll use an as-built joint to assemble the bail arms to the bail. We'll use a revolute joint to assemble the handle assembly to the real body, as we want to connect them together with a motion link. Notice the chain link icon next to all of the inserted components in the browser, indicating they are externally referencing the original part designs or assemblies. We can model a new part directly within assembly mode, which is useful for creating components that need to be defined in context with the existing assembly. For instance, to add a bail wire to the bail arms assembly, click the Edit in Place icon next to the assembly name. This action enters Edit in Place mode, allowing you to use standard modeling commands. In this mode, you can reference information from the other assembly components to ensure the new bail wire is correctly sized and positioned. After modeling is complete, clicking Finish Edit in Place will return you to the assembly design mode. As you can see, the assembly design mode is not only powerful, but also flexible when needed. It helps you build structure into your design and creates the necessary relationships that define the movement of your assembly. In the next video, we will learn the benefits of using hybrid mode.